Hey everyone, Depressed here with more Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 5. Alright, so still on the first week of Apex. I was actually planning on, I did say I was going to take it easy, but I also was planning on doing a few more matches than I actually did. Fortunately, work came up and I had to deal with that. Good news is I feel much better after a bunch of these matches. This particular match, I believe is going to be the second time I fight Rian. As for the box itself, very much a rushdown. As you can tell, there's no Landius. Everything here is all about extra mobility, AoE, spam, and all sorts of extra move nonsense and teleports. It's pure rushdown. So I went ahead and banned their juggler. They banned my Estelle, probably just to reduce my overall mobility. They took Ares, which I've already told you I hate Ares, and he's a pain to deal with. So I went ahead and just eliminated the rest of their potential tanks. So I got rid of Estelle, got rid of Sumire there. And so at this point, they have nothing that can actually guard. If this person wants to go rush down, I will let them do rush down. With that being said, I can't really do rush down versus rush down. It's just not something I can really do with the box I have. So I still went ahead and grabbed my standard tank. Also, my tank is kind of my main faction buffer. So already eliminating my assassins and high mobility. Immediately picked Rian. So I went ahead and banned one of the potential faction buffers, and got rid of Deedlit. I was going to gradually kind of eliminate the healers and see if they would actually bother to take them. Now, one thing I didn't really know about Ares and Rian is they're actually protagonists, so they can actually be buffed by Matthew, but it's not something I really considered. So since everything is going to be high mobility and they don't have Landius or anything like that, or no tanks at all, I went ahead and took Luna because she's just very mobile and has really high range. Also, a lot of the things I'll be dealing with, like Matthew and Ares here, are flyers, and obviously I'm an archer, so I can do a little extra damage to them. Again, they're just eliminating my high mobility. They took Matthew. Went ahead and took care of their more of their AoE, just trying to eliminate what I can. I actually took Rosalia, partially for the sword buff, just to kind of do what I mean, the main goal is to try to survive Ares. After I survive Ares, I have to survive Rian. So I needed to get as much like buffing as possible that could potentially reduce damage. So the extra 10% defense is really what I was trying to go for there. Let's see, Angelina, and yeah, banned my AoE and as well as more mobility. When they went ahead and took our teleporter. Since they took their teleporter, I went ahead and just eliminated anything else that was potentially dangerous for the most part. I also took care of their act again, so I didn't have to deal with that. I was kind of tempted to get rid of Angelica because she is a faction buffer, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because she's not really that useful. Pretty much her main use is to synergize with Arian Rod and Sumire because both of them have nasty effects when their HP drops lower. Anyway, I took TRS just for some heals. They banned pretty much the rest of my DPS. So they went double healers, and I'm going double healers. Alright, so not much to say. Iris is standard. Standard Sophia. I don't really... this one's pure AoE Ares. He took Wind Whisper instead of his other attack, or whatever it's called. Rian, of course, is standard. He's got his top tier abilities. And Matthew's all about buffing and summoning. The summon, it will synergize well with Rian, because everything that dies will increase the duration of his transformation until it becomes permanent. But I know there's not going to be much I can do to prevent that from happening, unless I kill him first, which that's going to be pretty difficult. All of his melee, of course, have Steel Wing Warriors, which get extra defense when they're attacked by range. So despite them being flying, they're still going to be a pain to deal with. I think in hindsight, I should have taken Demon Hunters instead of Bolt Rangers, simply because for the potential of mobility debuff and defense debuff. But in this particular battle, it's kind of all or nothing. If I don't kill what I need to kill, it's gonna kill me. So this Sophia, of course, has the exclusive armor, so they got pseudo faction buffed. Not that they really need it. So went ahead and started putting up that sword. They're spreading out. And I'm actually opening. Actually, I think with since I have Luna, Luna, I actually opted for taking Protect to reduce the physical damage that Freya would take. And of course, my my Luna's doing the usual stuff. And Tiaras is standard, just purely buffs mainly rather than healing. So, doing my own Sophia buff. Here comes the teleport. So I positioned here to try to minimize the amount of things he can hit with an AoE. He can hit 3 things at once. So yeah, with this cross position, his AoE is just 1 ring. So he'll only hit at most 1 target. But he's going for my back row to try to take out Sophia here. Does tons of damage. My Rosalia is 3 stars, like I mentioned before, and she's not fully enchanted yet. So she actually has rather low HP, which, as you can see, it shows. I went ahead and used the rewind just for the extra healing. I didn't really need the refresh of cooldowns. So I think my opponent was hoping that Ares would just live. Probably expecting me to open with just attack with Luna, and then of course Ares probably has last rites, and at full HP, stealing warriors, she wouldn't be able to get a kill even as archers. Also, her damage is actually debuffed right now. But Freya does tons of fixed damage, and luckily Ares is not immune to fixed damage, which is kind of the key for this fight. If these key targets were immune to fixed damage, I would probably not have been able to win this fight. So yeah, applying their buffs, getting my Wind God Realm up, and I'm pretty much trying to get as far away as possible for obvious reasons. Took care of Ares, so I don't need to deal with him anymore. This, of course, will buff him, or it doesn't buff him, it just increases the duration of his transformation. The sword's still in play. It only gets the benefit of equivalent of 0 faiths, so if I'm around it I get buffed, but I just need to stay away. I'm a little concerned about the summon, because the summon can, what's it called? Can do sword dance, which can prevent heals. Of course, it's just bait. He wants me to kill it, so the buff duration gets increased again. But yeah, I'm just trying to get as far away as possible. But I went ahead and killed it, because I did not want that to come up and do sword dance and then make it so I can't heal. Yeah, the big issue here is actually the mist. It's actually closing in, but I'm trying to stay as far away as possible from everything. And I'm reapplying buffs here, which is going to kind of hurt me, but there's not much I can do about it. Yep, so here comes Gale. A little surprised he went into melee range. So I went ahead and killed Matthew. The only reason I didn't go for Rian is because I was pretty sure I would not be able to kill him. Yeah, so at this point, after 3 allies die, his transformation becomes permanent. So now his Ogre mode will not wear off, which, for those who don't know, Ogre increases mobility, makes it so all of his attack, every time he does damage, he does a random debuff. increases damage dealt by 30% and reduces damage taken by 30%, which is probably why I couldn't kill him earlier. And then, what is it? All stats after using a skill. 20% HP. And okay, so yeah, he gets, and every time he does a skill, he gets buffed up even stronger and stronger. Also, all of his abilities actually change and become a lot stronger while he's transformed. It gets additional range, additional span, and the chances of doing debuffs with his AoEs become essentially 100%. So it's just brutal all around. So I went and moved in to get next to the sword, just to get a little extra defense. And of course, that teleport was just to buff him up even further with damage. I went ahead and did Miracle to just try to get as much damage reduction as possible, because here it comes. So this attack does debuffs as well as put 2 dots on everyone. Now, I went with Sophia healing somebody else because I thought my Sophia actually has a what's it called? Is it Swordsmith? Or was it Bracer? I don't remember. Whichever. She has the accessory that gives immunity to silence and fixed damage, but his fixed damage dot thing actually ignores immunity, which really annoys me. So yeah, I learned about that this fight. I don't like the fact he can do that, because there's a lot of other characters that could really use it, and not the person that could do 1,000 debuffs. But it is what it is. Luckily, Sophia had decent health, so she wasn't completely screwed yet. But she is screwed now because she can't actually move, and she's in mist. It's just all bad. So here comes the next AoE. Yeah. So for this, I tried to heal Sophia. Not really to heal her, but I was trying to remove a status effect. Unfortunately, the status effect I needed to remove was the mobility, and it didn't get removed. But for Luna, I was hoping for one of the debuffs that Rian throws out is actual heal reversal, which really sucks. It's the same heal reversal that like Listel has, and I actually got lucky and got to remove it, which is really, really important for this. I think in just thinking real quick, sorry. Okay, yeah, it's her turn. Yeah, I think I needed this. So, Sophia's gonna die, and so what I use this as opportunity to get everyone buffed up and healed as much as possible. So Rian right now is at full HP. Now he's infantry, so he does not have last rites. But he has 30% reduction from Ogre, and 20% reduction from the teleport. So he has 50% damage reduction right now. And then, of course, Steel Ring Warriors have additional defenses and all that good stuff. So he was probably pretty confident that I could not kill his Rian, especially since it's in mountains, so it's another 10% defense there. But I actually went and attacked with Freya, and this Rian was not immune to fixed damage, so I immediately did a ton of fixed damage, as well as the princess fixed damage, and then went straight for the kill. I also had plus 30% attack damage because of attack blessing, and that was enough to get me the kill on Rian. And they gave up. There was maybe a small chance they could have kept fighting. They could have tried to kill my TRS and then tried to just outlast my other characters using magic damage. But with Luna there, I don't think it was really that possible. But yeah, that was pretty much one of my few times I've actually won against a rushdown. In fact, it might be my first, because usually rushdown just kills me. So yeah, good stuff. Sorry if I got a little stuttering on the last match there. It's just a lot to speak about, and I'm actually a bit tired still. But I say that every video. Alright, as for our opponent, actually has 2 tanks, a lot of healers, I think, and of course got a Rian. Alright, let's dive right in. They banned my Zerda first, I banned their juggler. I will always ban their juggler because I don't want to deal with it. Get my Freya out. So yeah, they actually banned my Lycoris and my D-Lit. It's actually pretty varied about what people actually ban. Since they went ahead and banned kind of two of my quote-unquote healers, I went ahead and picked Sophia just to ensure that I have some sort of buffing and healing potential. Then they banned my mobility, and they actually banned my other tank. I don't know why. Probably just to get rid of the extra mobility. Took a Bozel. I banned their TRS because I did not want their attack blessing, and I also got rid of Mystery Knight because a high mobile magic attacker is just not something I like to deal with, even though I have spears. I take Shrilinka, who's really just been doing work this week. I'm really happy that I built her, because originally I just wanted to build her because she was kind of cool, but most people don't use her because she telegraphs pretty blatantly what she's about to do, and she's not as mobile as Zerda, but a lot of people seem to not know how she works, or they just don't bother trying to actually counteract her ability. So at this point, I am banning all their... Did I ban all their healers? No, I have not banned all their healers yet. But every time I've been picking like one thing, and then I ban one of the healers on top of it. So I'm just gradually whittling down the healers. I'm not too concerned about Rachel because I can easily kill her, especially since now they let me have Angelina. They got rid of my Young Jessica and my Illustrial though, unfortunately. They take Elwyn, which I'm a little concerned about, and since they picked Elwyn, I went ahead and just eliminated the rest of their healers. So their only potential heal is Rachel's passive. Elwyn, of course, can self-heal, and technically Cherry can actually do a little bit of self-healing depending on what skill she has. Also, she can self-heal with her 3-cost skill. And I also took Rosalia just for additional buffing and mobility. I didn't really need the extra damage from TRS, I felt. And they took Leon, which Leon can't do anything to my spears. Yeah, I actually spent a lot of these matches. I've been kind of spending a great deal of time kind of measuring out how far they can go in 2 turns. Also, a neat thing that's been added to the game is when you click on people, you can actually see their percentages for their health, which helps a lot. So you know when things will proc and activate. Anyway, so this Rachel doesn't actually have her 3-cost skill. She has Gospel and then Dark Reaper Arcane Blast combo. This Elwyn is standard kit Elwyn with a faction buff. Has sword infantry. This Leon doesn't have a 3-cost skill. In fact, I think he only has 5 skill points. Yeah, I think this character was a little lower level, because his Elwyn only had like 994 attack, which I don't think is particularly high for an Elwyn. Yeah, the Bozel's at Int wasn't particularly high, so I think overall it was a bit rough for them. The Bozel is non-faction buff, just pure debuffs, and the Landius is standard kit. So yeah, pretty standard stuff there. No real changes to my kit for these characters. Yeah, just faction buff there. Shrilinka is the same. So yeah, I was definitely measuring out how far each of these casters can go. So Rachel can't go as far, but so I was kind of taking advantage of that. I always try to throw out that sword early. It can be useful for like rush down because you can technically move another 3 with chivalry and all that. But I figured just getting that out as soon as possible, just in case I get run into by Elwyn, was a better idea. And at this point, the key thing about Shrilinka's her fleeting flash ability is she only attacks the hero directly if there's at least one enemy adjacent to the target, which is exactly what happened here. So if I were to attack Rachel after teleporting, I would be able to attack her directly. So with that in mind, I was measuring out the steps I needed to attack Rachel. And for the most part, all I really needed to do was kind of make sure these other characters can't interfere. And looking at the other characters, I judged the distances, and I was like, they can't do anything. I'll be able to get the attack off before they do because I go first on the next round. So I started getting the buffs up. Now my original plan with Angelina was just to kind of play it, you know, hit and run, because they don't actually have any healers besides Rachel. So I was going to, you know, hit them with this, then run away. But with the opportunity that was kind of presented to me, I went ahead and killed their Bozal. Because I figured what this would also do would force the Leon to hang back here instead of pushing forward, just in case. Because I think Leon has exclusive armor, but I don't think this one does, where they can actually bypass terrain, which can definitely be dangerous in this map. So yeah, I go first, so I just run up. I teleported, so I attacked directly. And then the attack I used, as long as there's no allies within 3, I get to bypass guard, so I just immediately kill Rachel. And I was actually out of and Landius couldn't even counter because he's cavalry, so he can't really go through sand or forest that well. So with that, I was just able to kind of get everything set up. I get rewind, so all my cooldowns are off now. I was just short of range of going after Leon there because I didn't have any faith yet. So frontal assault. I was actually kind of surprised he went with frontal assault first. I think he should have went with sword soul first, because that actually has the ability to give heal negation, which would have helped a lot. So yeah, chivalry, ultimate judgment. Also, it seems to apply a debuff, but I'm not sure what that debuff is. When initiate a battle, heal. Reduces the enemy unit's range by 1. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So they can't actually counterattack and stuff. Okay. Anyway, got the kill. And I was able to get out of range too, so I was pretty safe. So I went ahead and just, since my cooldowns are off, I went ahead and just teleported again. So now I can go after Elwyn next. I don't know if the person just gave up or didn't care or didn't bother reading, but he's gonna make the same mistake again. Not this mistake. This is a different mistake. So he did do Sword Soul this time. Does some pretty good damage, but this time he's less troops, less health. Just can't get there. So I'm passing turn to see what the Landius does, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. So now they are adjacent, which means I can attack the hero directly. I was a little concerned about positioning because I had to kind of move over here to ensure I was over 3 distance away from allies, so I can actually bypass the guard. And then they give up. Alright, one more for the road. And I usually try to do 2 to 3 per video. Alright. So as far as this kit, kind of a mixture of it's a little bit of assassins, but tons of AoE it looks like. I guess not tons, but it's kind of a mixture. Anyway, actually, what else is there? One, two. Okay, so for the this particular kit, they technically have 3 healers. They don't have Liana, which props to them. They have TRS, Lycoris, and D-Lit for their healers, and then Yulia can technically passive heal depending on what type of electric kit is. And then tank-wise, they technically have 3 tanks if you use Ultimiller's guard ability. So ban their Juggler. They ban my Lycoris of all things. I sometimes see that, it's kind of weird. They actually pick Lycoris first, so I immediately take out the remaining tanks. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, I took out a remaining tank, and I took out one of their assassins. I was a little concerned about Omega, but I wanted those yeah, so I was I did want to take out the tank. I want to take out Landius. I wasn't too concerned about Altmolar, even though he can tank, but most people don't use him as a tank. Anyway, I took my Freya as my own tank and faction buffer, as usual. They ban my faction buffers, that's usual routine. They take Luna. I was actually assuming this Luna was a flyer. It's actually an archer. I was kind of surprised when I saw that. I went ahead and got rid of Rian for obvious reasons, and got rid of Omega for even more obvious reasons. They left me with Zerida, so I went ahead and took Zerida. They got D-Lit. There's definitely a lot of dangerous choices, so I went ahead and just took care of the ones I thought were most dangerous, which is, of course, Yulia and Yusuke, since they have a lot of self-healing. And they just hit really hard. I'm not sure who they banned. I think they banned my Jessica, and I think maybe my Angelina. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm gradually losing my range, but I did get Clarette, which she's back from retirement. At this point, I took care of the Listel and the remaining tank. This leaves them with TRS and Leon. I go ahead and take my TRS for healing. Yeah, they take their TRS. And I'll end up taking my Shrilinka for this, because this fight. So, I have a tank. Correction. I have technically a physical tank, but I did take Iron Rose, so I can actually guard against magic, because all my opponents, except for the Luna, do magic damage. But as you can see what they have here, they have a lot of AoE debuffs, and terrain effects as well. Then, of course, you got D-Lit that can move again. You got this Luna here that, of course, is a flyer, or not flyer, but an archer. So she's actually a danger for my Clarette. And, yeah, can definitely move extra spaces, help some of their units move. Actually, I think the only people that get the benefit of the Wind God Realm is Tiaris, because D-Lit ignores terrain. So, yeah. Still, it's kind of dangerous overall. There's a lot of faction buffs and a lot of AoE here that can really hurt me. And my opponent was taking it very, very cautious. I was, of course, measuring out steps. So, for example, here, I was measuring out 3 steps here. Her AoE goes up to 5 spaces, including the Dark Dragon Barath. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So literally here's the line. This line will do, of course, a bunch of damage, debuffing, and of course puts a bunch of nasty terrain stuff if I let it. So yeah, my opponent decided to hang back, kind of clumping everything together because I kind of win in mobility thanks to Clarette. In fact, just to kind of show what my Clarette's going to be doing. Yeah, as you can see, that's how far I cover. So he's going to position himself in a way that I can't attack initially. But I'm not too worried about it. I went ahead and put Attack Blessing up just to show that I'm ready to attack with her. So this match is going to be all about the mist closing in, because eventually one of us has to get into each other's range. I went and just got up the rest of my buffs. Yeah, so it looked like my opponent was not going to be the one that closes the distance first. And just simply because of how the positioning is, I will probably have to either sacrifice, if I were to take turns over and over again, just not stalling, I think I would have to be the one that bites first. So I kind of took that into consideration to try to figure out where I was going. I was actually a little shocked that Luna retreated like that, because that actually gave me an opportunity to kind of move up a little bit and expand my range. But it looks like they were going to hide in the corner, so I actually went ahead and pushed forward with Shrilinka, getting to right here, putting her within AoE range. And then I actually moved here. I didn't bother doing Bloodthirster yet, because she's not in range. I was just barely in range with that movement I did with Shrilinka. So Luna's the one that struck first. Luna didn't have any special attacks, so it was just raw damage. Demon Hunters had a 75% chance to proc, but didn't, so they weren't able to get the kill. This pretty much made this very easy. Now, one thing I kind of forgot is I can't get the attack hero directly due to the fact that this Luna is not adjacent to anything. But I still did the attack anyway. Because I still do tons of damage. That was without Blessing. That was just amazing amounts of damage. Now the bad part about Luna going with Demon Hunters is they don't get the damage reduction that the Sharpshooters have, or whatever they're called. So I went ahead and moved back as much as I could. This Bozo went ahead and moved in to attack. But I was able to tank it. And I think that Bozo was all AoE, so the single target was just raw and hitting my my Sharlinka. Even if they got the kill, Sharlinka would have self-resed. And at which point I would have been able to just attack with Claret, and that would have just been a downward slope for them. Because I still had Zerida raring to go. In fact, I probably would have went with Zerida next and just killed with her. So yeah, pretty good stuff. So I got one more match to show off, but I'll do that for next video. At this point, I am Silver 2 at this point. I did do my 10 matches, so I did get my Apex Iron Cavalry. I'll probably do some more matches tomorrow my time, and see if I can try to get myself to Silver 1 at least. If I can get Gold 3, that'd be great, but I'm not gonna kill myself over it. Obviously, I do actually want the Gold 3 reward. It's a skin for Angelica, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, I kind of need to get some Mastery Stone Epic gift packs, because Rosalia really needs them. But anyway, I am The Depressed Eo. This is Langrisser Mobile. See you guys later.